In the last video, that is part 5, I had taught grouping. In today's video, part 6, I will be teaching you slicers and charts. So let's begin with the training. I have created a new sheet over here called as slicers and chart. I would like to create a pivot table over here. I will just copy the pivot table last time which I did grouping. This pivot table I would like to copy it over here, slicers and charts. So I can just click inside this table of yours, click on pivot table analyze, select one option is there and say entire pivot table. So that should select the entire pivot table of yours. So now you can press Ctrl C for copy and then go to that sheet of yours, slicers and charts. So, and where you want it, you can keep your cell pointer. I wanted somewhere here, so I kept it over here. And now you can paste it. Ctrl V for paste. So as you can see, my data has got copied, but the width is, it's you have to adjust the width over here. So you can just double click over here, keep your mouse pointer on that edge, and this you can see on line mouse pointer comes here like this plus sign. You can just double click, so automatically it will get adjusted for you. Okay, so I have just copied the earlier grouping pivot table over here. Now I would like to create a slicers over here. So I will just keep my cell point in the middle inside here like this, inside your data, that is your pivot table data. Click on this option called as pivot table analyze. There's an option called as insert slicer. Click over here. You can take any of these options from here. I'll go for this salesperson and I'll say OK. So I get a slicer for my salesperson. I'm just making the adjustment, making it a little smaller. I want to give a color, so I'll click on my slicer, click on this option slicer. If I click outside, that option doesn't come. You have to click on your slicer, then you get this option slicer. Click on slicer, take the color you want. I'm going for this red color, so you get a color like this. Now if I click any of the names from here, I should get the details over here. See, so if you click any names, John, Michael. So when I'm clicking, you can see that the data is getting changed over here. Back to normal, you can click over here, clear. So this option will get cleared for you. Next is I would like to make one more pivot table over here. For that you will have to create a new pivot table. For that the data you can get it from here. This data you can download from the description below. So this is my data. This is my sample data. So just click inside anyway. Click on insert option. Click on your pivot table. Table from range. Existing. I want it over here. Slicers and chart. That's my sheet name. And I would like to have it over here somewhere here. So I'll click it over here. That is slicer is my name of my sheet. And I've taken as L8. So L8 is my where I want the cell to be coming. That pivot table. Now you can say OK. So you get a screen like this. So I'll just make it a little bigger. The pivot table fields. Okay. Now over here, what I want is this sales USD that you can push it in rows. So that will come over here in rows option. See, it has automatically grouped it me because earlier I had already done that grouping option. So it has already grouped it for me the sales USD ka. With the earlier chapter when I taught you about grouping. So we have already done that earlier. Then again this sales USD is there that I would like to push it in values. So you get some number over here. It's actually counting. I don't want count. I would like to show the total sum. So click on this option, this count of sales. There's an option called as value field settings. Instead of count you take sum and say OK. So that should give you the total. According to this range, the value is so much, 5000. In this range, the value is so much. So this is what I've done in this pivot table of yours. Then I would like to create a slicer for call as month. So like how I did for salesperson, I would like to make a. So you just keep anyway inside here. In this pivot table, click on pivot table analyze, insert slicer, and come for this option called as month, and then you say OK. So I should get a slicer for your month ke liye. So just place it how you want it. I would like to give a color. Slicer you come, change the color, which color you want. I'm going for this dark purple color. After that, I would like to even now I would like to also, one option is there called as slicers columns. Is at the moment it is 1, so that's why getting it like this, one option. If I make this as 3, I can get 3 months in one line. So that is the use that I've done over here. I'm just placing it somewhere down below here. So now if I click on January, you can see that this data is getting changed for January ka. If I click on February, March, June, like that. If I click on the salesperson, it is showing it is changing for this value over here. So back to normal, you can click over here. If you want to check with multiple condition, like I want January, then May, June, September, like that. In that case, you have to press Control. First, you click on January, and then you press the button called as Control and click. Like how I clicked on August also. Then I want December also. You press Control and click. So by this way, you can see that only January, August, and December ka data you will get it. Or if you want it like this, April, this full line if you want it, then April, say, just drag it like this by mouse, full thing. So you can see that the full data is getting changed. Only that much data is getting changed of yours. So by doing this, you can do it like this if I use this option like this. Okay. My next option that I want to show is about your pivot chart. For that, you just click inside over here. I would like to make a pivot chart for this pivot table of yours. A different two graph I would like to make. One is I would like to make a column graph, and for this I wanted column graph, and for this pivot table I would like to make it as a bar graph. So first I will click over here in this pivot table of yours. Click on this option of yours called as pivot table analyze. There's an option called as pivot chart. So if I click over here, now I want it as a column graph, so I'll click on column. Clustered I want it, so this is clustered. There's all different types of graphs is given over here. At the moment I'm going for column graph. Clustered I'm saying, this is how it looks. Okay, so I should get my graph here like this. At the moment I don't require this pivot chart field. I'll just close it at the moment. Just place it where you want it. I'm just placing it somewhere down below like this. Size you can make it small, just making little small like this. Place it how you want it. Then I don't require this heading and all these things which is showing sum of sales. Just right click over there and say hide all field buttons on charts. So that will remove your thing. Just making the side a little bigger like this. And I want to show the values also. So I'll click on chart elements, data labels, the tick mark on that option. So you get the values also will come on there. So this is my first graph. That is my column graph that I have done over here. So this is the data is showing me over here. This is my graph, and that is my slicers. Then I want one more graph over here. So just click inside again over here. Again click on pivot table analyze and come to pivot chart. This time I would like to have it as a bar chart. I'll go for bar chart, clustered, and I'll say OK. So this should show me a graph like this. Again I don't want this all these headings. Right click, hide all field button on charts, so that should remove. This total also I don't want the heading. Just click and delete from your keyboard, so that should go off. I want to show the values, so I'll click on this option called as chart elements. So once you click on chart elements, the option called as data labels, so you can tick mark over there, so you get the values also over here. So now I made all this buttons, and I made my slicers also, and I made my graph also. Okay, so you can adjust it, how much the size and all, you can adjust it how you want it from here like this. So I'm just dragging it so that it will look better. And if you want to give a design some middle background color, you can again click on this graph, click on design option, and you can change the color. Like I'm just going for this black background, so it looks much more better. Then same thing I'll do for this also. Click over here, again design, change the background color. So I'm just giving a background color also. Okay. So this total is come back again, so I don't require, actually this total is not required, so I'll just delete this. Okay, so now my graph is created and my and my slices also is created over here. So I'll just make it place it somewhere which I can see it. Okay, so I've just placed my slicers and I've created my month and salesperson ka slicer also is created over here. Okay, now when I'm clicking on January, as you can see that it is only changing over here. Of February, if you click, this table is getting changed and only this table is getting changed. If I click over here, your salesperson is, this graph is changing away and this is getting changed. So both are not getting same, at the same time both are not getting changed. So for doing this, we will have to combine, like we have to do the connection of it. Now to connect this slicer, you have to connect your slicers. For that, you have to click on your slicers, right click, and there's an option called report connection. Now here I've made a lot of pivot table over here. So now which pivot table you have to connect? If you want to find out, I'll just say cancel. For that you can come to know from here. Just click inside this table of yours, that is your first pivot table. Click on this option of yours called as pivot table analyze, and you get an option over here. See, pivot table 1. This is, if you click over here, pivot table analyze, this is pivot table 2. If I click on your slicers and slicer, if you come, this is the month ka slicer and this is your salesperson ka slicer. So now we would like to connect pivot table 1 with the pivot table 2. So these two slices has to be connected. So you can just click over here, month, then you right click and then come over here, report connection. So as you can see, the scroll down like this. See, pivot table 2 is already connected. This is slicer and chart which I am talking about. Pivot table 1, this is already tick mark over here. Just tick mark on pivot table 1. That is this summarized value, this pivot table 1. Okay. So same thing you have to do with salesperson also. Click, right click, report connection, and just scroll down like this. See, pivot table 1 is already selected. Tick mark on pivot table 2 and say okay. So now if I click on January month, you can see that my table also will change. February, if I click, March, April, see, whichever salesperson I'm clicking, you can see that this is also getting changed. Now instead of using this slicers, I can also make one more slicer called as, I would like to make one more slicer called as year Kelly. So what I'll do is I'll again click inside here, click on pivot table analyze, insert slicer and come here and say okay. So my year ka slicer also has come here. Let's make the size a little smaller. Place it how you want it. Give the color, slicer, change the color, which color you want. Again you have to right click over here because it will not work. Click, right click, report connection, and scroll down like this and see, this also pivot table 1, pivot table 2. Okay. So now if I click on 2012, you can see the data is also getting changed. See, even my graph, my pivot table 2013, if I click, it is showing out 2013. 2014, if I click, it is showing out 2014. If I click any of the names, salesperson, you can see the data that everything is getting changed over here now. If I click on month wise, July month ka, this is again, just check out, right click, that's what we have done over here. I have just tick mark pivot table 2, pivot table 1. Yeah, sorry, this was wrong somewhere, not this one, pivot table 1. Okay. So if I click on August, you can see that August month is changing, September is changing. So whichever month you click and whichever salesperson you click, you can make it a little bigger like this. Yeah. So whichever name you click, so you can see that everything is getting changed now. So you can place it according to your choice. If you find that this is not according to your choice, this 3 is there, make it I'm making it again 1 only, so that it is easy to this thing. Okay, so I made now like this, placing the values, the slicers over here. Okay, so now if I click on any of the months, you can see this thing, it will get changed. For example, if I click on January, you can see that January ka data is coming. If I click on any of your salesperson, you can see your salesperson ka data is also getting changed. Year wise, if I click on any of the year, you can see that your table also is getting changed and your graph is also getting changed. So this is how you can create slicers and charts. So don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the upcoming parts. In the next video I will be teaching you is some cool tips about pivot table. So thank you for watching and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.